Well, good morning, friends and neighbors. This is JJ Messick coming to you on a Friday morning. It's almost noon, but I just wanted to touch base on some of the week's events and recap a few things. This video will probably run a little bit longer than my typical 5-minute video, so I'll apologize in advance for the length of the video, but hopefully y'all will be interested enough to hear me out. We had a very successful rally last Saturday. Uh, I was glad to see the turnout. Could have had more because we had some food left over, but we had some good eats there. And Luke Matthews and his sidekick Sam were up there performing for us and did a great job. We enjoyed every bit of that entertainment they provided. They're very talented musicians, and we're going to have them back again soon. Um, like I said, we had some food left over, but plenty of it got ate, and it was probably about 60 people, I would say, that ended up showing up for our little party. And so it was just a good size and a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody that came, and there was a lot of good support there. Tuesday morning, I ended up going to the county commission meeting regarding the marina's request for tax break for 10 years. In my heart of hearts, I feel that's a little excessive. I also feel like that it's a little unfair that you've got these deep pockets that can afford attorneys that goes after these little um, cash relief things that they can find in our government. And I think that the government should be a little bit more of a level playing field when it comes to those things. I feel like that the best thing to do in Taylor County, if you want to entice young businesses and help them along the way when they're starting up, is to go by the standard that it takes 2 to 3 years for the average business statistically to start realizing a profit. So the county should look at that statistic and say, you know what, we're going to give them 100% break for the first 3 years of their business. Anybody that comes in and applies for a new business license gets that break. That would be fair across the board. It would be a good thing, I think, for new businesses to come in, to set up. Don't make them go through a bunch of red tape. Don't have a bunch of hearings. Don't be picking winners and losers. This is go ahead and give it to everybody that qualifies right up front. And that's my JJism on what happened there. Of course, y'all can read plenty about that in the paper today. They kind of went halfway on some of the things I wanted there. Like I said, I offered up my thoughts about 100% for 3 years, and they ended up giving 50% for 5 years. So, it's a game, folks, and it was kind of comical to me actually with some of the things that was being wrangled over in that meeting. I think that too could be something we could certainly do without. The meeting on Tuesday night, that same night actually, we had a Republican. Taylor County Republican meeting that we have every month, and this time around, all those local candidates were allowed to speak. And I got up there and I gave my speech that I had given at the rally, and it was kind of lighthearted and stuff. Gave a pretty good picture, I think, of how I got to Taylor County and stuff. I might read it to you later, or at least post it on my page. But in the process of it, I told a few stories, told a few jokes. Some of them were a little pointed, and we had a good time Saturday night. I was a little nervous on Tuesday night for some reason. I don't know why, but I gave the speech, and Pam responded. She's a good politician, folks. I got to tell you, she definitely is. She picked my speech apart. A couple of points I made was that there's a climb from the bottom to the top that my wife and I made shortly after we were unemployed right after the '08 disaster that shut down a lot of businesses in this country. We couldn't find good work, so we started my business over. There's a lot that could be said about that. I made a joke about how I had a resume big enough to run your printer out of it. Well, she latched onto that and kind of labeled me as a job hopper. And a job hopper I'm not, and I can say that because any good job I've had, I've stuck with for years. If it was a bad job, not so much. Most of the time I went from bad to better. I would go up the ladder. But in the process of, my endeavors to move back and forth, raising a family in a couple of different areas of the country, I'm not somebody that's been hunkered down here in one county all my life and married somebody from the county all my life and raised kids all my life and worked here all my life. This is all true. And I've actually admired people that have been through that life experience. I think that's very admirable. And so my opponent, having lived in that life experience, apparently, she grasped a hold of her experience and used it to, degrade my experience. My experience has been extensive. I've done many things in my life, everything from commercial fishing to driving a taxi to being a building superintendent of some pretty significant properties, and also pest control. I chose that as a career for self-employment, and it's done quite well. God in Taylor County has been good to us. And so I don't know what to say other than I think my experiences may exceed hers in many areas. I've learned everywhere I've ever gone. No, I haven't hunkered down in one job at a lab at a hospital somewhere for 30 years. And I don't know how much you'll learn in that position. I'm sure you learn some things because, again, I've learned everything from various experiences throughout my life. And I always walk away with more knowledge, if anything else. And so I'm not a job hopper. Good jobs I keep, bad jobs I shed them and go to good jobs. That was my thing. And if there was no jobs, like I was when we found ourselves after the '08 crash, we created a job. And so I'm proud of those accomplishments. I'm proud of the fact that I have learned so much throughout the years. I wish I could remember half the stuff I've learned. I'd be a genius. But, things, if you don't use it, you lose it. Things you learn, sometimes you don't keep. But the experiences I've had throughout my life have been very enriching. And I'm proud of those things. So just wanted to put that out there. If you're going to hear stuff about me, about how I'm a job hopper, or I don't manage my finances because I went bankrupt once and all that kind of stuff. Well, we've all been up and down, folks, and I think it's more important to look at the character of a person. If a person gets down on their luck and you watch them. Do they sit on the fence and cry, which we would never do? Or do they get off the fence, roll up their sleeves, and go to work and improve their situation, which is what we did. So, again, I'm proud of that. I'm putting that out there. Not going to go any further with that one. I mean, I'll be glad to talk to anybody who wants to talk to me about examples and so forth. But, it's been a long journey in these last 65 years, folks. And I've learned a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things. And I want to bring that experience into your local government. I want to use it to serve you. And even though I'm not a career politician, don't ever intend to be, I will be, I guess, professional in the sense that I'll be paid to do what I do. But I'm going to handle it in a way that is going to reflect the integrity that I've done all my things throughout my life, in my workplaces, in my businesses. I've always had pretty good experiences. Most of the time I went up the ladder, not down. And there's reason for that. You climb the ladder in any organization that you join because they like what they see. And so there's plenty there that I can brag on, and I'm happy to put out as being a positive thing. And that being said, I think I'm going to kind of wind this down, even though I was planning on a long video. I don't want to carry it too far. I just wanted to touch base with the couple of issues there, recap some of the meetings and some of the events we've gone through this week. And I just hope that you all have a great weekend. Always remember, constitutional conservative with common sense is what Taylor County needs. And that's what I'm bringing to the table, folks. So y'all have a good weekend. We love y'all. Bye-bye. We'll talk to you again soon.